customary with the City of Vestavia Hills, we always allow citizen comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council? Yes, sir.
We'll try again on my name, Deloye Burell, at 3273 Farringtonwood Drive. And you alluded to one of my issues earlier today about our Friendly Crosshaven Green Valley intersection. If you recall, that was one of the big thorns in our side when we did the original 2008 Cahaba Heights community plan. And I've been getting a lot of questions about that because of my involvement in that process back then. And we've all agreed that the county has been giving us 11 years of the runaround, to pardon the expression. But the questions that I have had brought forward, it's a concept on that. When we were doing the discussion about Crosshaven itself in 2008, one of the things we wanted to make sure that we were doing was mitigating the traffic that comes down between the summit and going all the way over to Overton Road. That is worth your life being on that road right now. It's a racetrack, erratic driving as people try to dodge around cars that are waiting to turn, and they're speeding. So we were wanting to find a way to mitigate the traffic and slow it down. I want to make sure that the county in all this discussion knows that we're not trying to increase the traffic flow there. We're wanting to control it. And we don't want to just see how fast we can move cars like they do on Highway 31 or on Highway 280. We want them to take into consideration we have shopping areas where people are trying to get in and out of those safely. And quite frankly, we would even like to see in sometime in the future a light over there by the new Zaxby's and that shopping area right there, because I've been watching them play dodging cars trying to get in and out of that since it's opened. So we need to at least consider something like that in the future. But our idea is slow it down, not speed it up. But that brings around to a question I'm trying to get on the record in a way. Is there any way where we can get a periodic update from the county instead of just waiting for them to drop out of the heavens on us? Can we get a report, a weekly report or a monthly report or something?
Mr. Downs, you want to take that or Christopher?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Christopher and I talk about it once a month, and we communicate. It is clearly our goal and objective to facilitate the county's project, which includes a realignment and signalization improvement at Crosshaven and Green Valley, to include some addition of some turning lanes to help the left-hand turners that as you approach that particular intersection. And we talk about it very frequently. We communicate with the county very frequently. Because this is a project that has federal funds tied to it that flow through ALDOT, we are at the mercy of the quote process. The process at this point in time is in the midst of right-of-way acquisition. Right-of-way acquisition, when you're using federal dollars that flow through the state, require following the Uniform Relocation Act. When you follow the Uniform Relocation Act, every step of the process requires protection of those property owners from government coming and unfairly seizing their property. And the longest delay has been in the purchase of right-of-way. At this stage of the process, the county has engaged an appraisal company after waiting a year to actually hire that appraisal company because of other constraints that were local constraints. But that appraiser is now putting a value to these properties and in the process of acquiring enough right-of-way to accomplish the project. Once the right-of-way is acquired, there is a further approval process through ALDOT, which can take up to another year or 2 years. But the funding remains. And we could sit here and be put on public record as saying this will be done by date certain. But Mr. Mayor, as we know, and councilors as we know, the minute you put a date on the record, you miss the date because we are not in control. We have worked very hard to even offer to take over the appraisal process for the county. We have offered to take over segments of the project. We have offered to take over the entire project, but have been told no for various reasons, which it'll take another 30 minutes to go into those reasons. But as we speak, right-of-way is being attempted to be purchased, and as we have private development that occurs along the corridor, we will look at private development as being an opportunity to expedite components of the project as they present themselves. Just as we have had Zaxby's and Winn-Dixie donate funds into the sidewalk improvement fund when they redevelop, we consider all of these things as development comes forward. And so that was probably a longer answer than you were looking for, but the bottom line is we're not in control, but we've been willing to work as partners with the county to try to move this forward. And unlike, I've been here just over 2.5 years. The first year, I did not see any movement whatsoever. Over the last year, I have seen the hiring of an appraiser, letters going out to property owners who didn't have right-of-way because they called me and asked about it, and now moving slowly but surely forward. So I think all we can say is that there's a project for the future. We cannot get married to a date and time, but we can try to work diligently as we move forward. And as milestones occur, my promise is to come back to you, Mr. Mayor and councilors, and go on our various media platforms and explain as we hit milestones.
Basically everything you said, I've also covered in our Facebook conversations with the public, because that's the same thing we've always known all along, is that this is the process we have to go through. What I'm really wanting to hear is not a specific date. I'm not asking that because I know that that's like nailing jello to the wall with the county. But what I do want to hear is more frequent updates to, instead of just us having to ask about it, have it pop out on the website and stuff.